Another amazing week of Lego creation. We have a lot of very cool builds this week, in particular some very interesting Star Wars mock. As always, remember that all the builders and the articles mentioned in this video will be linked in the description down below for you to go and check them out. Let's start from the Instagram section. The first one to be featured is A Kid and a Brick. We featured him multiple times. He has some stunning builds on his account. He built this, it's called Baoli of the Lotuses, which is a stepwell of ancient India. Very, very cool. If you read the description, there's a lot of interesting information about what we are seeing over here. So we have this sort of pool of water in the center with some lotuses on top, this staircase going up, a structure in the middle with a dome, and two very nice and big trees on the side. And if you look at the details close, you can see some very nice choice of color. I think he mentioned in the description there are all 7 shades of brown present in this mock. We can see the central area with some very nice geometry for the floor and this octagonal shape in the center. The trees are also beautiful, very, very big and very full of leaves with a couple of very interesting yellow birds. And you can see also a lot of textures on the side of the wall. We have some popsicle pieces coming off the side of the balconies to create a very interesting effect. In the water, we have a couple of different shades of green. We have this color palette in green to create these leaves, and we can see also those very nice staircases that come a little bit offset from the wall to add additional texture. Amazing, amazing build. Next up, we have Between Brick Walls, which is a famous builder for sort of modern architecture kind of buildings. Here we have the latest release, this mid-century modern house, which is pretty cool. He has a little bit of exterior, and if you look at air profile, you can see also a little bit of additional picture of a sort of patio area that is outside, and also a little bit of the pictures of the interior design of this house. Next up, we have ACG How, we'll be featuring before on the channel, that has some very interesting little dioramas for Lego dinosaurs. So for each one of these dinosaurs, he made a little base with a little bit of a slight different landscape and vegetation and rocks based on the dinosaur that is highlighted in these little dioramas. Very, very cool idea. I wish I could have that idea myself, even though I don't really have much dinosaurs in my collections. Another amazing builder here, Zane Builds. If you remember, we talked quite a lot about that massive Sonic build. Here, this time, he has a Oracle Red Bull F1 Sprinter. So I'm assuming this is some sort of modification. I don't know if he's using one Speed Champion set or two, if he had his own parts, but you can, of course, recognize some of the printed parts and the stickers. Very, very cool build. The base also is pretty cool with this structure coming at the back to support it. And we also see those white corner lines to highlight where this sprinter is standing up. I think it's a pretty cool concept and very sleek, very nice on display. Now let's move into the article section. Let's start with Tips and Bricks. They have again the Dera 0503 with details about his amazing tiger that we featured quite a long time ago on the channel. This is one of the best builds. I think it was last year. I don't know if it was in 2025. Anyway, such a beautiful build, a lot of very interesting part usage and posability for this build. And of course, remember to go and check out the builder's profile. They also have nice part usage sort of highlight series here with 4 different builders featured: Danko, Donuts FTW, MD Design, and Slim for Real. And the part is the Technic rotor blade, and here we can see some very cool parts usage. I like in particular the Ninja Turtle over here. Anyway, check it out, and you have the link on the builders over here. We also have a technique discussion about color contrast. Here they highlight 3 amazing builds by First Order Luca, Nick Brick Builds, and Lee One Lego. Very, very, very cool. We featured some of these before, and you can see how they create these amazing builds with a particularly very well done use of different colors and different shades of certain colors to highlight certain things. You can see, for example, here Blue Dreams is based on original artwork by Pascal Blanche. Let's move on to another technique analysis. This is for a mock by Eero Konen that we feature many, many times on the channel. And this, I think, fits nicely well now, this moment, because we have a new Lord of the Rings set coming out. And that this fits there right well with a very interesting parts usage of this sort of Duplo grass piece. I think this was part of a Iron Builder competition. And you can see, other than the Duplo part, we can see a lot of amazing parts usage all throughout the build. Is really, really cool. And as always, remember to check out the builder's profile. Now, let's move on to New Elementary. We have a review of a set that I didn't expect, but actually has a quite number of interesting parts. The article is by Elspeth De Montes, and this is the Hey Hey from Lego Disney. I think this is from Moana. A very interesting, colorful little set, and has some interesting new mold, like this new curve brick. And here they do a little bit of analysis on how to play around with this one. There's also some new prints and some very interesting Greek colors of interesting parts. Now, let's move on to Brick Nerd. They've posted the instructions of a microscope, very little build, a very nice build, very well executed. This is because every issue of Brick Journal, Brick Nerd posts instruction for a little build. And if you check out the latest issue of Brick Journal, is about microscale, and you can find also an interview with myself about my experience with microscale builds. So go and check out Brick Journal as well. Over here we have a build by Douglas Hughes. This is a way to create a motorized mine for the Seven Dwarfs set, which is already a beautiful set. So here you can see a little bit the idea, the sketch, and the final result is beautiful. So a whole cave underneath with movement, with lights, is really, really cool. And if you go read the article, then you have all the behind the scene and all the steps on how he achieved this result. We also have another article from Josh Parkinson, Break with Josh, about landscaping. So here a little bit of history about the plant pieces in Lego, and then a lot of interesting uses of many different sort of botanical elements into Lego MOCs. Very, very interesting article. Lastly, I like this article as well from Will Hefner about Lego MPU Aircraft and Watercraft Edition. So you can see all those big elements. How can these parts be used, not just in Lego set, but in all types of different and very cool Lego MOCs. One of my favorite is this chin up. Very, very cool. And you can see there for the eyes also there is a very, sorry, for the glasses, there is a very interesting part usage as well. Let's move now to Brothers Brick. An article for a little bit over a week ago, an interview with Sergio Battista about trains. So very good train builder with some very interesting landscape with this a little bit more broken down trains, but also an interesting part of this article with this builder in particular is that he paint directly on Lego parts to create this very cool graffiti piece. I know it's not for everybody, not everybody likes to paint on their bricks, but I think they look really, really cool. Another build that I really like, that I want to highlight from Brothers Brick, is this very cool ship by Sentinel Bricks. This is part, it's been made for the RPG Star Wars Factions, and you can scroll down and see also a little bit more details about this build in particular. Staying in the Star Wars theme, we have an amazing build by Daniel Jackson, which is Ahsoka. I'm a big fan of Ahsoka, and this is such a beautiful build. You can see also, if you go on the builder's profile, a little bit of images from all angles of this quite sizable bust of Ahsoka Tano, which is very, very well done. And staying in the theme of Star Wars, one more build. This one is by myself, has been featured on the Brothers Brick. This was my entry for the Imperial March. We'll talk about that later. For the Rebuild the Galaxy category, so I have revisited the I'm Your Father scene here with the Darth, Yoda, and Grogu. We in the swamps of Dagobah. So go check out the build as well. I have a video already on my channel. More about that later. Contest section, I remind you there is still a few days to participate to the Lego Micro Build Tournament over on Toys and Bricks. I featured a few submissions already last week. And then we have the Rogue Olympics. Here are some builds from week 2. This is my entry that I showed last week. The prompt was oops. I'm gonna light some of my favorite, but there are a lot of over 30 entries. This one by Brixie, I don't have to tell you what it is. I think it's pretty obvious, and I think it's a pretty fun and well executed build. Here we have a Space Oops series by FS Leonard. So this astronaut has been disconnected from his station. So this one, it doesn't look very good as well. It's not going to end up well, I mean. Here another cool build by Noom Montag that did a very good build as well in the first round. The cat here spill over some of these ink on the plate. Most of the things you see here is made, of course, with Lego pieces and is very well done. And we also have another interesting cat. I don't know if it's the same one. This build is by Stentie, with this cat on top of a table that crashed down a vase. So another very cool oops scene. Then we have third Fred Capo, which an accident that happened to all of us Lego builder, dropping a little container full of bricks. And here we have a very cool parts usage. I love the roof of the house made with the book piece. But then here we have Modulex, we have big Duplo pieces, we have Bionicle pieces. Very well done. We also have Willy Coyote, with a very cool build. Here a little bit of editing in the background. This build is by Wolver, but I love this. It's very, very cool. You can see it's about to fall down. Nice use of the rock pieces and use of colors as well. And the cacti is done also in a quite interesting way, different from what we usually do see for cacti builds. Next week I will share some builds from the new prompt, which is backwards. Here is already my first my build for that week, with a renovation gone wrong at the Lego store, where this artist wrote the Lego logo backwards on top of that wall, where I used those big tiles, printed tiles from the yellow truck delivery truck. I have a very cool video with a modification I did with the set, expanding a Lego store set. So go and check out that video as well. Then we have the Imperial March. So here is the prices and the categories. Remember to go and check it out. There is a few interesting builds that I show here on the Flickr page. 2 builds by Les Fauch with these characters from Rebels, very well done. They are slightly coming off, slightly 3D, all pretty recognizable. I think it's a very good job. And he also did a very cool Return of the Jedi poster, again, kind of 3D. Very, very cool idea for this character category. Marchitector 2025 is also still going on. There's some amazing builds. The third trophy is out as well from Christian Rao. This is for the digital category, and is the Nakajin Capsule Tower in Tokyo. And one of the favorite submission I saw this week is this one by Scott Wilhelm that we featured before on the channel. This is a stunning build. This is, I think, the Blue Mosque from Istanbul in Turkey. Amazing build. This is massive. It probably could count for the landscape category, not for the building one. But there's some very cool part usage. I can see all those kind of minifigure heads that make that square lower area, and then you can see also some gear pieces in the background. Very, very cool build. Now, my suggestion this week for Lego Ideas is by Distracted Builder that submitted this very cool Samurai Castle. I think Lego designer could do a little bit of tweaks to this one to make something really, really cool. I mean, the fan design is already pretty cool. We could get a different style of castle, I would say, and some new samurai minifigure would be very cool. I can see Lego designer maybe make a nice different technique for the roofs, and maybe those instead of those printed parts on the side for the rock at the bottom, maybe the designer could work something a little bit more interesting there. And also this could be modular, maybe could have some nice cherry blossom on the side and have some pretty cool interior as well. So go and support this submission. I think is a great idea. A suggestion for YouTube, let's stay in Star Wars, in the Star Wars world with Solid Brick Studios. He has a suggestion for the fourth part of his suggestion for the best pieces for MOCs. This time we have some specialty pieces. Very, very cool suggestion over here. Again, for Star Wars, we have Hippolyte bricks. Here we have some base accessory that you can use in your clone bases or in your Star Wars build as little side additional build to add into your MOCs. Then we have Racing Bricks. He's continuing this series of alternate builds from Rebrickable. This time he has some very cool vehicles from Firas Abu Jaber. Very, very cool. If you want to use Rebrickable, go and check out this video. It's very interesting. Then we have MB Bricks. She has a new building series with a fantasy elven castle. This is the second update. It's coming out very well with a nice rockwork, some balconies, and lights as well. So go and check out this very interesting series. Then we have Brickman Studios. He has a vlog about Bricktastic in March 2025. Very, very cool. Some of this build has been featured before on the channel, so go and check it out. There's a lot of cool stuff to see. Then Brickcraft on the English channel. Now we have what I shared a few weeks ago with the new Roman Empire project. Very, very cool to go and check out. And also on the brother channel, this one is in German, but is already dubbed in English, is the Brickman Brothers channel with the night and day works on the city. So you can see a little bit of the lighting work and all the little different effects that the city, the museum has now. A small channel that I just discovered, X Bricks. Very small mock over here, but there are a bigger one on the channel you can go and check out. Very nice little Scarif build with a nice beach, and I really like the line when the water breaks into the dark tan. Very, very well done. Go and check it out. On my channel, before we wrap it up, go and check out my Star Wars mock video. I have Ahsoka, I have the Fireball, and I have the Darth Yoda build. All of these three builds are in one video, and I also have the vlog members with more behind the scene about that and other builds. A quick recommendation, staying in the Star Wars theme here on Amazon US. We were talking about Ahsoka. There is the Clone Wars Jedi Interceptor with a couple of very cool minifigures, 11% off. And we also have the Duelon Peridia, 20% off. Not a great set in terms of parts, I think, but the minifigure lineup is amazing. Of course, you have Ahsoka, you have Thrawn, you have Ezra Bridger. A lot of cool stuff over here. Maybe you can get it for a minifigures and repurpose the parts for other MOCs. And also there is a 12% off on the Rebuild the Galaxy Dark Falcon. And here we can see also a very good lineup of minifigures with the White Vader, Jar Jar, and some other cool stuff. If you want to support the channel, please consider to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, or go and check out one of my previous videos. Here is the playlist with the This Week in Bricks episode, previous episode. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you on the next one. Ciao, ciao.